Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. I am in Woodford, Virginia with the marble man himself, Jack Hahn, and we are swimming in Champion Agates. So Jack's going to tell us a few stories. We're going to take a close look at really all these champions that you're very familiar with, that you've worked with for decades ago.
Decades, yeah.
So let's look at some champions with Jack. This is a really good mixed lot here. So Jack, when did you first start hanging around Champion Agate?
Well, in the day, before computers, everybody had a series of books called Thomas's Register.
Okay.
And it was a book of books of manufacturers, 11 volumes. I mean, it was a huge thing. So I looked up marbles.
Yeah.
Saw that they were all mostly West Virginia made in the U.S. So I was like, well, I'm in Virginia. It's not a problem. Scoot up there. Takes about 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah. So what year was that about?
Probably around 1980 even.
Oh, wow. And Dave McCulloch was already there?
Yep. Dave was the head marble guy.
And, what was he producing at that time? Do you remember? Was he doing swirls yet?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was.
And then one of the things that came out of it was called the Backlash marbles. It was clear marble. It had a black stripe running through it. And that's because the bearing burned out on the glass scissor. So it was putting this little strip through it. And I can remember Dave and I sitting there going, how the hell did we do that?
Yeah.
And we figured it out. And then...
and it was a piece of string of metal?
Bushing.
Oh, it was a bushing getting ground up.
And it just got little slices off of it that went into the marble and gave it that swirl.
Such a fine line there.
And it was an accident, or maybe not an accident, but it was not planned.
Yeah.
The bushing burned out and sent this second color through the clear marble, which later became known as the Wirepulls or wire feeds. I don't remember exactly why it happened, but I remember Dave saying, no, we'll just drill a hole here and stick the wire in.
So he was doing it on purpose?
Eventually, yeah. But in the beginning, it wasn't done on purpose. It just sort of happened.
Oh, and then you tried to replicate it?
Back engineered it. So why did that happen? And that led to the what I call puzzle marbles.
Okay.
It's a clear marble with color going through it, and it's one continuous line. If you look at it, you can go all the way through around the marble and find the other end of the...
You have any examples of that laying around?
I threw some green ones over here.
Oh, okay.
I think they're right there.
Yeah. That's the green version. This is a white puzzle marble, as I call them.
Let's see the group shot there. Oh, and these are standard. This is really one line, just drawing
one line
all the way through. So you're physically pushing a rod of color in?
Yeah, initially we were. I think it got changed to something automatic after a while, but the initial one was actually physically putting the rod into the stream of glass.
A lot of people call them Wirepull.
Yeah, I've heard them called that too, but everybody's got their own name.
Nickname, sure.
It's like when you, if you give 5 experts a marble, and you'll come up with 5 different answers.
It's true.
Everybody's got their own way of doing things. So unless the person was actually at the factory and knows what was going on at the time.
Yeah. And you were there.
We were doing 18-hour days. You do 12 hours on the machine, 6 hours sleep, 12 hours on the machine, 6 hours sleep until you were done making the run. A lot of times we just sleep on the boxes of marbles.
Yeah.
I tried sleeping in my van, but the floor was too hard, and the cardboard boxes
it's warm
were
at least.
Yeah. Our tea water never got cold. We just take the kettle from one tub of marbles and put it on the newest ones, and it would keep the water hot. Yeah.
Man.
Kind of funny. But when I first was at Champion Agate, it was just a wooden building, and across the street was a storage building where they kept all kinds of... some people call it the pit, where the floor would give away, and they just kept putting more boxes of marbles on top of it so they could walk across to the other side.
Man,
There was-
it was just fully
I've
loaded
got a
with
lot of
marbles.
stuff out of there over time.
And then, and that was before the Quonset hut was built?
Yes.
And when was that built around, the hut?
I watched it being built, but I couldn't tell you what year it was.
Yeah. How many years did you work there?
I was never hired. I was strictly volunteer. He let me work with the guys on the machines.
Cool.
And whenever I needed marbles, I'd just say, Dave, I'm coming up. I'd like to get in with one of the crews. And he would say, well, come on up. I could use the free labor.
That's crazy.
And that's why I ended up with a lot of marbles nobody else saw, because
Yeah,
he let
you were
me
there
dig around in
firsthand.
the back corners and
Yeah,
and
yeah, and you were
things that
observant.
yeah, they might not necessarily have used because it wasn't their style of marble.
So you were around when they were doing these new old-fashioned runs?
Yeah, that was
Look
one
at
of
these
the
guys.
first attempts to have 3 colors old fashions.
Okay.
A lot of times when you see the old fashions, they're just 2 colors, a base color with a second color added to it.
All right.
But this is actually 3 different colors in the same furnace.
And that was
in the
82 or 3-ish,
Yeah,
something like
thereabouts,
that?
when I was first starting out.
Right. And so it looks like we've got about 4 different color combinations. There's the ketchup and mustard,
Yeah, the
two-tone
red, yellow,
brown,
and the browns and blacks and
Right.
grays.
and these cool green and reds. And it's an off-white base, huh?
Looks like it.
Yeah. It's
Not
like
exactly sure what color it is.
Right. There's a bunch. Man, they're wild. You got a ton of these in the back, too. I'm an amateur.
Always edit.
Now here's some new old-fashioned types that are 5/8.
Yeah, pretty
Right?
much. Yeah,
Do you
so
remember
close to
you were running
between
these as well?
9/16 and 5/8.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And these are awesome. This powder blue right here. Those are some of my favorite Champions. Yeah, bright, bold, punchy colors on busy Champion swirls. A lot of the glass Dave was using was from choice cullet that didn't seem to show up in the early West Virginia swirl marbles. He stayed away from making batch glass because of the challenging EPA standards and inspections. Here's a close-up of what most collectors call the wadded up patterns that Champion was made famous for. And on some of the rare examples, the swirls get so big, fat, and juicy that they press up against each other and they squeeze out the base glass, forming what I call a dried mudflat pattern, for lack of a better term. These are tough to come by, but they do show up in some of the louder colored swirls. But the majority of the Champions are often less showy, and they made a ton of marbles, so it's difficult to make any blanket identification statements. Their glass color palette was wide and varied, showing any color under the rainbow. And their marbles can be found with opaque, transparent, translucent, and even opalescent base glass. And you worked on a lot of these runs, huh?
Well, some of them I worked on, some of them I found in boxes buried deep in the corner of Champion Agate Marble Factory. A lot of the color would have come from cullet.
Okay.
Or bottles. They would buy broken bottles from, like, for white, they'd use Old Spice.
Okay.
For the cobalt blue, they were Phillips Milk of Magnesia.
Really like these busy patterns that you guys were coming up with.
Just 2 different colors of glass in the same furnace and a big stirring spoon. And a J-pan at the bottom. That's what caused a lot of the swirl, is the J-pan in the furnace.
So there was some movement in the furnace as the glass was sitting in there?
Going down, it would hit that J at the bottom, and it would kind of sort of give it a swirl type of look.
All right. And did a great job with them.
Well, most marbles were made in West Virginia because all the chemicals were there. And at Champion Agate, the gas well was right on the property, and the gas would come up and through a regulator and right to the furnace.
Okay.
So it was basically free gas. Once that well was drilled, it continued to supply glass for as long as I was there. And then
So they were tapping into the natural resource gas, and they weren't paying. They didn't have gas bills.
Nope.
How many machines were you guys working with?
We were running 4 at a time.
4 sets of rollers off of one furnace, or?
Nope, 4 different furnaces.
Wow. So here we have your you call these brains?
Brains, yeah, I gave them that name. I don't know what anybody else called them. But
We'll call them
I
brains.
thought they looked like cerebral cortex.
There's a little bit of iridescence to them, right?
That's just the natural shine. I don't think we sprayed them. Oxide.
But you did do some spraying, right? For decorative ones?
The luster marbles, like luster marbles.
Yeah.
These were done by Champion. When the marbles are rolling down from coming off of the coil, and they're rolling down the chute to the bucket,
Okay.
we have the spray handle, and we just shoot
By
it
hand.
across as the marbles are rolling. They roll through the spray.
So they were applied with a gun right there at
Right.
the end of the... How about
At the
that?
very end, when the marbles are going to the cooling buckets.
So now these Hot Wheel types, right? I mean, they come with different nicknames, but these are also being sold for Hot Wheels, right?
Yeah,
For
they put
the,
them
for the
in
toy
actual-
company.
The Hot Wheels game.
Right.
They were markers. Yes, a board game.
Huh. There's a couple in here. And you have these terrific patterned ones here. You call these Cardinal?
Cardinals, yep. It's a yellow in a red. Sometimes it came to the surface, sometimes it didn't.
So it's an opaque yellow swirl on a transparent reddish.
Ruby red.
Beautiful.
Yeah, they were a unique marble. They didn't make very many of them. I'm surprised we were able to pick that many out of the jar.
You got more.
Yeah, I do.
They're awesome, though. Here's some more examples of those really, really busy Champion types. David going to town with some Champions. It's like a candy store in here. Fully loaded with marbles.
When the marbles are first cut by the glass scissor, it slides back and forth, sends alternating marbles onto the mechanical rollers.
Right.
The very first parts are red hot, and the glass will stick to the steel unless we have a can of oil and a glove. We stick the finger in the oil and hold that finger on the coil while it's tumbling, and it to keep the glass from sticking. And you adjust them side to side for the sizing. If you're making peewees, you're going to be like real close. If you're making the bigger ones, you're going to want to separate so there's more space for it to get its shape.
So the viscosity of the glass and the speed of the cutting arms and the adjustment of the screws of the coils.
Yeah, that's the basics. Once that's all set up, you can pretty much sit back and watch them spit out marbles. I gave up on Champion when Dave McCullough moved with Jack Bogart and formed Jabo over in Reno, Ohio.
That was 91-ish.
Yeah.
So you were basically there from 80 to 91.
Yeah, just about 10 to 12 years, somewhere around there.
The entire McCullough era. That's when all the best Champions were being made. These are neat with the tomatoey red color.
Red.
And then
Red will change color by the amount of red dye you put in it, the heat. We also have a superstition where most red glass we make on rainy days. There's just something about a rainy day that helps the red come out bright and crispy.
these are neat with the yellow and more of a, it's a reddish, but there's pinks in here too with these.
Yeah, some of
you look at them closely.
Some of these with the yellow, they're fluorescent.
Sort of cream base here. these guys. Do you remember working with this color comp? Now this is another, almost sort of like a Wirepull type. It's really...
You can't see because of the reflection.
Yeah. There's actually two colors there. But now, like for example, these colors, like on the new old fashions, these are colors that are in the furnace, right?
Yes.
Added into the furnace.
Shovel glass on one side, shovel glass on the other side. It gravity feeds.
Yeah.
And then at the bottom is what's called a J pan. It's a groove in the bottom of the pan that forms, we call it a J pan because it looks like a J. So the glass is gravity feeding, and when it gets down to the bottom, it forces it to sort of do a twist.
Awesome, Jack. All right. There's David.
Oh, yeah. Should we
Yeah.
go upstairs and meet at the table?
We got
I think so.
Let's head up that direction.
we got Poco Loco.
Logo, logo.
Well, Jack, thank you so much
We have Poco Loco
for your
and we even
champion.
have food. Just
I appreciate it.
40 years of being in the marble business.
Poco loco.
Yep, upstairs. Yeah.